Okay, I'm going to show you how you make these really cute little gnome boots. Very, very easy to make. Don't have to go to the store and buy little baby boots or baby socks. These are virtually the cheapest possible thing you can, to make these boots very cheap. So basically you get this fairly thick card, as you can see there. It's quite tough if you can buy some of this card. Unfortunately for me, my husband works in the industry where this is free for me. So this is the part that goes over the back of the shoe. This part here on the shoe. Here, this bit. And you cut out a piece or two pieces. The long side here is 13 centimeters long here, and the short side here is 6.5 centimeters, just to get it fairly accurate to the size that I've got mine. And then you've got the bottom part, so you just get a baby shoe or just try to get it around about this size when you're cutting it out. So it's 9 centimeters this way and 4.5 centimeters at the widest part here. And then what you do is, I have a piece of tubing which comes in handy for rolling the card because it's quite tough, and you roll this as hard as you can like this until you've got literally a curve like that. And then you bring the two pieces together. This is going to make the tube for the back of the shoe. Oh, got that on there. And holding it together, you get a piece of tape, and we just stick this down. Doesn't have to be perfectly neat. And in 3 places on the whole thing, on that join. I'm going to put the tape on like so. And then what I have is, this is a polystyrene ball, which you then cut into 2 halves like this. And what you do is you place these 2 polystyrene balls on the base of the shoe, turn it over, mark the excess on both sides, you can see there, mark it with a pen, and then with a knife or craft knife you cut off the excess on both sides. Then you also take off, which I haven't done yet, when this goes on the shoe, this needs to have a bit of a cut out on here to allow for the tube to sit neatly. So you cut this out. Don't do what I'm doing because you'll end up cutting your fingers. And that should fit in there a bit neater, like so. And do the same with the other piece. Just to cut out a little piece, and that should fit in there again neatly. So I'm going to work on just one shoe. It's just a case of repeating what you want to do for the second shoe. So it's exactly the same procedure. So now we get the tube. We've now got the tube. We've now got the sole of the shoe. And we get our glue gun, which is in my little handmade glue gun holder that I've got here. How clever is that? That holds it with glass at the bottom, so it doesn't stick. Any glue doesn't stick to that glass whatsoever. So now we're going to put this glue around the base of this tube, plenty of it to make sure it sticks well, and then we're going to stick that to the bottom of the sole, making sure it's relatively no overhangs. So you now got this. Yes, okay, and now we need to stick this one on. So literally lots of glue, and plop that on. Very simple. There we go. Now I've got that done. Now we need to cover it in masking tape, decorator's tape. So I've got two different widths. I've got a narrow one and a wider one. So the wider one is going to go around, get off a lengthy part. That is going to go around the whole of the boot, like so. Doesn't matter if it overhangs on the sole, you can always cut that off later. And we wrap that right the way around. Right round to the back to the front again. And then it might look scruffy, but you just push it all in. Push it all in like this. So now looks like this. Yeah. Then you get the narrow tape and you put that across the front of the shoe. Any overhang you just cut off and press it down as neat as you can. That looks wrinkly, but you're going to be covering that up in a bit. And then again, you want this part here as smooth as you can get it. Just get the scissors to cut off that excess. And another piece just around about here, going around the shoe. And then we want something to go right round the top, like so. So we've now got the basis of a boot. Yeah. Now what you do is you cut out your fabric, and what you do is you put the fabric on the boot itself, so it's sort of from there, and fold it over so you're cutting out a shape literally like that without the notches, just like that, like an arch. And then you cut these notches out, and two pieces on either side you cut out flaps like that. And then what you do is you get the little notches that you've cut out and you glue them with the glue gun together like that, so it's rounding it off, and then turn it inside out, and that should fit on the front of the boot. If you centralize it like so, centralize it, and from there you put the glue on the very center at the front and stick it down. Okay, so that's now glued on, and then you get the edges and the sides, put some more glue on, and try to stretch that across the boot like that. And the same with the other side. Glue. And again, try to stretch it. Doesn't matter if you've got these little gaps, that's going to be covered later. So you've got these little gaps at the front, it doesn't matter about those. And then, oh, I'm getting glue all over the place. And then we are going to put some glue on the top here and pull that up towards the top of the boot. Hold it there till it's set. Okay. Once you've done that, you can then glue down these little flaps into place. And as it's showing here, glue those down like so. And the same with this side. Glue those down. Now all of this is about measuring, so you get your fabric. Once you've got your fabric, you can then make some templates like I've done here. Once you've got the actual size that you want and you're happy with it, you make some templates out of paper like so, and that's the shape that you want it to be. So now we've got the back part of the boot, which is that shape, and this is to go around the boot like so. And make sure you centralize this as well, so it's like this now. Yeah. Once you've got that centralized, the best thing to do with this is to actually glue at the back so it's perfectly centralized for you to then continue with the rest. So I've glued the back. Back is all glued in. Glue the bottom at the back. So push that into place. End up with glue all over your fingers. And then we are going to put the glue all the way around this part here as fast as you can, because it sets very quickly, this glue. So round there, round there, round there, and back again, and it's in the middle. And then we're going to push this down in place like so. And I'm just going to put another glue stick in this glue gun. I can just see it running out. And the same with the other side. I want to glue it all the way around. All the way around. And in the middle. And then push it into place. So, remember I said, don't worry about these bits. You can do these boots in any, this is felt by the way, that I'm using, just a wool felt. But you can do them in any colour. Best to use felt because it hides all the sins of the tape, which is quite wrinkly underneath it. So if you use a thin material, it would probably show those wrinkles through. And then we are going to get the black felt and I'm going to glue this. This is where I said don't worry about the bottom. Add a little bit of glue to the end just to get it in place at the back, centralised, like so. Once that's centralised, then you can then put your glue doing it a bit at a time because you don't want to have the glue drying out, and then just press it into place. Getting glue all over my hands here. I'm normally tidier than this when I'm doing this job. Just trying to do it as quick as possible and as clear as possible for you to be able to do these. And again, you glue, hot glue gun all the way around the front. I'll keep on doing that. Till we get to the back. We'll probably have some excess. So I'm going to now do it on the actual grey fabric here because I don't want too much going over onto the black. Okay. And then we cut off with a slight overlap the excess, glue down that overlap. That's a bit of glue on there, don't want that. Okay, that's your front now. You can, if you want, put black felt on the bottoms of the boots if you would like to, but it doesn't matter, nobody's going to see that. And then we have a wider band here, it's quite wide, so you measure around your boot to make sure that that fits, and then we're going to halfway up the boot, starting at the back, put some glue on there and make sure this is halfway up the boot, like so. Yeah, don't make it so it's exactly the right size up to the top of the boot. You want it so it's like that, so it's halfway up, and then we continue with the glue. Like so. Again, all the way around till you get to the end. And again, we've got some excess here, little flap. You just literally cut this off and glue it down. Okay, so now we've got this excess here, and the reason for the excess is we're just going to put a bit of glue on the very back there. The reason for the excess glue is because if you can do this as quick as possible, we're going to put some glue all the way around the inside of this, all the way around it, and then very quickly I'm going to push it all in, push it in, push it in, push it in. That's the reason for the excess glue. Okay, now what I normally do is I use these dowling sticks, cut them to a certain size, and you obviously I would put it into your body part of the gnome, but you glue the bottom with lots and lots of glue and stick it into place like so. Before you actually put it on the gnome and then stick it into here, I add a piece of this, put a hole in it, and I'll just cut one in there just to demonstrate. Put a hole in there, push that up, put that in there and glue it. Once it's glued into place, then I fill the whole shoe with rice, dry rice. When it's filled not quite to the top with dry rice, you then put glue all around the inside of the boot at the top, and push this down and glue it into place so it looks like that. That holds all the rice in place, and then put some glue around the bottom of the stick, all the way around the bottom of that stick to hold that in place even further. Stops any rice coming out and weights down the boot as well, which is very, very easy. And last but not least, you get yourself a little pom-pom. You can do anything to decorate these boots, whatever you would like to do. You get your little pom-pom, put your glue on there and stick down the pom-pom, and there you have it, a little gnome boot. Very easy, very cheap. Majority of the cost is the pom-pom, your felt and your polystyrene ball. Literally pennies or cents, as if you're American. But anyway, yes, that's it. That's your little boot. Very easy, very simple, very cheap to make. And I have to make sure the card is very, very tough card. But I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you make many, many, many gnome boots or doll boots, whatever you want to use them for. Thank you very much.